Sorry for the delay, man. Those that follow me, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I promised that I would do this thing at 8 o'clock. But after wrestling with the angles and trying to record, it's just been a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the sports recap. I'm not going to delay. I'm just go ahead and do it live like it is. For those that see it, I apologize for the angle. Had a hard time setting this thing up, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. And other news, college football. Those that you watch that are my college football heads. There is a bowl season getting to happen December 16th to December 31st. Now, a few years back, they started a playoff thing where teams, the top 4 teams, was going to determine who would meet from those 2 games to meet for the national title. Whereas in past, it would be the number 1 versus the number 2 team. But now they made it interesting because it can be the number 2 team can meet the number 3 team, or the vice versa, if you get what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter about what seed the team is anymore now. They choose it based off whoever win those games. So be on the lookout. Rose Bowl, you got Georgia versus Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's going to win that one. And then Sugar Bowl, you got Clemson versus Alabama. I believe Alabama's going to win that one. But we'll see. We'll do another recap for that another time. And also that final game will be January 8th. So be on the lookout. Me and one of my homeboys, Rod Perry, is going to do a recap in that one. So be on the lookout for that one. In the NBA, Matt Barnes is retiring after 15 years of playing. Those who watch basketball, he played in reality shows, him and his fiance. Also, he played in the NBA Finals last year with Golden State, and they won it all against Cleveland in the rematch. Moving on to baseball, my Yankees signed Stanton from the Marlins. So it's going to be interesting what's going to happen with baseball. Hopefully they do their thing. And moving right along to what I really want to talk about, that is football. Yes, those that know me, I love football. I'm an NFL head. Crazy games happened yesterday. Crazy games. I'm not going to go into the scores or the stats or anything. I want to talk about, because I went on NFL mobile app and I looked at the scenarios for if the playoffs were to happen today, what would happen. So the biggest news everybody has been talking about is the Philadelphia Eagles. Story team of the year. They got all cylinders going, everything going smooth for them. Here's the thing, though. Before the injury happened to Wentz, I had the Eagles, and I personally said this, not before the season started, but into the season. After a while, I said I believe the Eagles are a complete team, and I believe they are Super Bowl contenders, and I believe they're going to take it all if they stay healthy. Now, we have a scenario where Carson Wentz tore his ACL. He went in, those that watched the game yesterday, he was running towards the end zone, and it was not intentional, but the I think it was the safety or the defensive back, Barron, had hit his knee by accident when he was going into the end zone. So what happened, long story short, Wentz tore his ACL, which put him out for the year. Those of you that watch sports or know anything about athletic injuries, when you tear your ACL in your knee or MCL or anything with the leg, that will mess you up, especially if you're an athletic person, you're a fast person. Them kind of injuries slow you down. Prime example, you look at RG3. He tore both parts of his knee in the same knee, and he wasn't the same since. You look at Derrick Rose, look at the injuries he had. Stuff like that will slow you down. So with him being an athletic type quarterback, that slowed him down. Even though he played a little bit after that injury, but it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with the Eagles at this point. And, you know, it's going to be very interesting. They did score on that play, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. So, I went on NFL Mobile on my phone, and this is what they had. If the season ended today, this is how the teams will look from the AFC to the NFC. I'm going to start with the NFC because that's what I got on my paper. In the NFC, the Eagles will be number 1, of course, and they clinched the division and they clinched the playoff spot yesterday with that win. Vikings would be the number 2 seed. Rams will be the number 3 seed. Saints will be the number 4 seed. Panthers will be the number 5. Falcons would be the number 6 seed. So, and how they had it set up too, the winner of the Eagles would, if Atlanta won that game against, how they have it set up. I'm trying to see. I got it all written crazy. Oh, so they had it as the Falcons playing the Rams, and they had the Panthers playing for the Saints. Sorry about that. I was looking at my own writing. So how they had it set up is this. The Eagles, if Atlanta won that game against the Rams, they will automatically play Philly. If the Rams would have won that game against the Falcons, then the Eagles would play the winners of the Panthers and Saints game. This is how they have it. It's a weird scenario. It's always been like that. And you look at Minnesota, their situation. Same with them. If the Rams were to win their game against Atlanta, if this happened today, they would play Minnesota. But if the Falcons somehow won that game, then the Vikings would play the winners of the Panthers or the Saints. So that's how that worked if it happened today in the NFC. Moving right along, the AFC has set up. You have Patriots number 1, of course. Steelers number 1. Patriots number 2. Jaguars number 3. They've been a surprise team this year. Jacksonville really has been a surprise team. Chiefs at number 4. Titans at 5. Bills at 6. Now, me personally, I don't think Buffalo's going to make the playoffs, but we will see. They doing their thing right now so far. If the playoffs were to happen today in the AFC, this is how it will be set up. Pittsburgh would play. Let's see, they got Buffalo. I got it all chopped up how I got it. They would play Buffalo if they were to win, or Tennessee or Kansas City. And how they have it set up for the Patriots would play Jacksonville if they were to win, or the winner of Tennessee or Kansas City. So that's how it would look if the playoffs were set up for today in the AFC and the NFC. Now, as far as the hunt goes and the playoffs and the NFC, they got the Seahawks, which will be knocking at the door if somebody falls out of place. The Lions, the Packers, my Cowboys, and the Cardinals. I'm not getting my hopes up about Dallas because we got too many stipulations we need to happen for them to get in the playoffs. Like, we got to win out for one, and then two, the teams that's ahead of us, with the exception of the Seahawks, have beaten us, and Detroit. The only teams that beat us that's ahead of us is the Packers, the Falcons, and the Rams. All those and Philadelphia. All those teams have beaten us this year. And then you look at the AFC side in the hunt. You got Baltimore, you got the Chargers, you got the Raiders, you got the Dolphins, you got the Jets, you got the Bengals, you got the Texans. I don't know why the Texans is in it. They have 4-9 record. They shouldn't be in it. And the Jets and Bengals and Dolphins, I'm not really expecting too much from them. I think the Chargers is going to end up winning that division. I know I said I had Oakland to win it, but Oakland looks suspect this year. So I think the Chargers are going to win that division. So if the playoffs were to happen today, my theory is this. Eagles do have the home field advantage. And oh yeah, Steelers clinched the playoff win last night. They clinched the playoff spot in the division. My theory when it comes to the playoffs is this. If somehow Nick Foles can stay consistent and rely on his team and not do too much, Philadelphia very well may have a chance of winning it all. But me personally, I think with Wentz going down for the season, I think that's a huge blow to Philadelphia. Even though they have the number 1 seed, they got a dominant defense, they got offense on all cylinders. When your key player goes down, that changes the dynamic of the team. So I'm curious to see how Philadelphia is not going to look in the final games. I'm curious to see how they're going to look in that division round. Whoever they play, however it's set up. Because the way this stuff is set up now, it's not the final result. They just always do that every year. If the playoffs were to start a certain time, how teams will look right now. Because it could be It might not be Atlanta in the wild card. It might be my team. It might not be Dallas in the wild card. It could be the Packers. So you just never know. We have to see what's going to happen in the following weeks. I think Philadelphia may make it to the NFC title game, but that's it. I'm not really sold on Minnesota. I think the team that's going to end up shocking a lot of people if it gets to the playoffs, you got to keep your eye on two teams. Carolina and Atlanta. Carolina may not have the best record in the NFC, but they got a #1 defense last time I checked. Atlanta plays pesky this time of year, and they sneak up on you. So, and you can't forget about the Rams. Everybody's overlooking the Rams. They thinking the Rams ain't for real. I'm telling y'all, watch out for the Rams. They got a tough defense, and I like the way their offense is set up. So that's my thoughts on the NFC. AFC, it's either Pittsburgh or the Patriots for me. I don't really see too many teams in the AFC matching up against those two teams. Only thing I can see happening if somehow the Chiefs make the playoffs, they got the formula to beat the Patriots, but New England is a different monster in the playoffs. So keep an eye out for that. So I think it's either the Steelers or the Patriots going to do their thing to represent the AFC. Me personally, I said the Patriots in the past, but I got a weird feeling that the Steelers is going to do what they got to do. So that's my little recap. Sorry about the delay. Sorry about the time and all this. But that's my recap for the week of what happened last week in sports. I appreciate all the support everybody's been showing me as far as these videos. Thank you for taking time out to listen. Thank you time out of your busy schedule. And we'll be back to normal schedule starting Wednesday with the encouraging videos. And then the upcoming Sunday, I'll be back to regular schedule as far as the sports videos. So till then, if y'all got any thing you would like to add as far as the encouraging videos or anything as far as the sports videos, feel free to let me know. I appreciate all the support. Thank y'all so much. God bless.